And first, welcome everybody to our last ProtoPie workshop. So today we are going to learn the most difficult features in ProtoPie. And after this workshop, you will be able to create both simple and advanced prototypes. So let's start. Before we start today's workshop, let's quickly go through what we learned at the last workshop. So at the last workshop, intermediate workshop, right? We learned 5 demos. We made them together. So first one is a camera. So as what we learned, you just need to insert a one camera layer, and then you can open your real camera of your device. And then we learned the chain and the range. We took a lot of time to distinguish the difference between them. So we said the difference, the chain is the one property will affect another property continuously, right? And the range is when a property's value enter a certain range, and then at that moment, something will happen. So one is continuously, another one is just change at moment. And for the typing, we learned we just need to add one input layer, and then you can use your native keyboard on your device. And the last one is we add one more complicated interactions on this typing prototype. That is, we ask user, you have to type in more than 6 characters. So when we use this, when we make this, we use the condition and the formula. Does you guys participate our last workshop, intermediate? If so, do you remember what we used for this last demo when we judge how many characters users type in this password input layer? Do you remember the formula name? 6 or 8? Yes, 6 or 8. But what the formula we used? Do you remember? Yes, Charlie, you are right. We use the lens. Correct. Actually, in ProtoPie, we have a lot of formula support. So lens is just one of them. And we already did beginner and intermediate workshop, right? So in the past 2 workshops, we learned those triggers and responses. And today, we will learn all the rest interactions. So they are detect and assign and receive and send, and also 3 voice interaction pieces. So they are new features we just added in the last version. And except those interaction triggers and responses, we will also learn those 3 features. They are not interaction pieces, but they are very important. They are important feature in ProtoPie: components, variable, and the multiple screen interaction. So yeah, we're almost there, but they are not easy because they are most difficult features. So not far to go now. Let's start our last workshop. Today, we will also make those demos together. And first one is after I tap my name on my first screen, and then I want to show it on my another screen. So how to make this one? We will use variable. And the second one is we will use component to make this control light interaction. So you can change your bar, and when you change the bar, the number will change. But because there are 3 similar interactions, room 1, 2, and the kitchen, so that's why we will use a component. And third one is I want to turn off at once, but that means we need to make interactions for the components. So how to send your message into the component. That is the thing we will learn from this demo. And then we will learn, the first one we will learn is when we jump to this screen, I want to give an initial state for the room one. So how to make this one. And then we will learn how to make interactions between multiple screens. And the last one is,
okay, kitchen light has been turned on.
The last one is use your voice to control your light. Okay, this time you need to download 2 source files because we will make a multiple screen interactions. So please find the link that Gina already shared in the chat window. And after you open this link, you will find a download button. So click it and you will get the 2 assets. Yes, the voice can detect odors, and we will learn how to make it later. If you have any questions during the workshop, please share it in the Q&A window. So from now on, I will keep checking my Q&A window instead of chat window. And also after you download your Pi file, please, if you have a ProtoPie player on your mobile, maybe you can prepare it now because later we will use it to make multiple screen interactions. I'm recording this video, so yeah, everyone can re-watch it later. And after download the assets and open it, please let me know. So when you're ready, please let me know in the chat window, and then I can move forward. Joanna is open. Okay, Joanna, if you have a ProtoPie player, you can also try to connect it with your ProtoPie studio. How about others? Still download it? Because this file is the biggest one. It includes the whole things we made in the last 4 workshops, so 2 workshops. So it will take a time. Okay, Nicolas is ready. Stanford ready, Diego ready. Cool. Oh, Leila is ready. Cool. Okay, guys. Now let's jump to the next page. Now we will start make our first demo. So first demo is when I tap my name, it's Gina's name here. When I tap a name, I need an item to tell me what did I change something in this input layer. So actually when I finish those the whole interaction is after I type the Gina, and the Gina name will show on the second screen, right? This is a demo we will make together. And in this demo, I need 3 items. So first item is can let me know, did I change, no matter is I delete a character or add one more character, every time when I change it, this item can let me know you changed something. So here. And the second item is after the first item notice I changed something, then he will tell the second item. So second item will move like a delivery man. It will deliver these contents I input here to a Ford or a basket. So the second item is work as a delivery man. And the third item is a Ford or basket. This item will receive the value deliverment given, and it will store and save it in this third item. And if later, maybe same page or different page, if we need to use this value, we can use other interaction pieces we learned before to show it on my second page. So in this demo, we need 3 items, as I mentioned. In ProtoPie, we call them detect, assign, and variable. So detect can perceive whether a change has occurred or uh, but it cannot know what I have changed. So that means detect can know I type 1 character or 2 characters, or I'm typing some characters in here, but he doesn't know I'm typing Gina or I'm typing Leah or I'm typing ProtoPie. That part it doesn't know. And then assign, my click doesn't work well today. Assign can deliver a specific value to a variable. So assign is just deliver something, but what it should delivery, we can decide it. And for the variable, it can only store 3 types of value. So number, text, and color. And after we understand the principle of this prototype, now let's open your file I shared before that you download and go to the sign up page. So here, as you can see, we already made some interactions. Those interactions, we made it before. We don't need it today, but one thing we need to know is this length of text. The condition we said you have to make more, typing more than 6. So later, if you want to jump to the next page, please type in more than 6 characters in the password, this input layer. Okay, now let's make our first demo together. First one, I can tap it. We already know, oh, let me change it, my language. We already know I can tap it. So first item is detect, as I mentioned. We need to know what the property, this layer, usernames, text, this property, does it change? Every time when I change it, this detect will work. And then the second item is assign. So every time when I change the contents in this username, the assign will deliver a value to a variable. So first, let's add a variable first. And for the variable, you can find it at the bottom of your layer panel here. And then you can find a plus button. So after click it, you can find 2 types of variables. For this means the value you saved or you stored in this variable, you will only use it for the same page. But in this case, because we will use this variable on the another page, that's why we need to choose for all things. And after added, please rename it. For example, name, because I will store a name in it. So after made this variable, now let's choose the name is the object of my assign response. So now we already decide who will receive my value, but what the value we will deliver, here we need to decide it. So the value we will deliver is the text I typing here. So here we should use a formula. As you can see, we can only use a formula. And the formula here we need to use is username is a layer's name, and add a dot, red dot, and then you can get a list, and then choose the text. So this formula or this variable means it can let you know what the contents you type here. and then it will be assigned to this name variable. So after you finish this one, please open a bug. When you hover here, the right side of your name variable, you can find a bug, this icon. After tap it, you can find a green window. So this window can show you what kind of value are stored now. And before that, please remember change your variable type from number to text, because the contents we will tap here are text. So that's why it will store text instead of number. And please open your preview window. Let's try to type in something here. And you can see every time when you tap one character, the character will be stored in your variable, name variable immediately. Did you finish this part? So detect, assign, and variable. So variable is on your at the bottom of your layer property. So actually variable is the most difficult feature in ProtoPie, in my personal opinion. So yeah, you guys already finished very the most difficult feature. But it's because this demo is very simple, so I think it's not hard to understand, right? Do you have any question about detect, assign, and variable of this step? If not, we will move to the next page, because what we'll make is, currently we already can save your name into this variable, but how to print your variable on the another page? So we need to move to the second page. So now move to the IoT home. So here you can see the variable you created before name is here, because that's why, because we create the for whole scenes. That means every for whole scenes variable will be shown on every scenes. And now what we want to do is, when I jump to this page, I want to show my name here is a text layer. But what the trigger should be. So the trigger, actually, when I jump to this page, I didn't do anything. It's just show me automatically. So that means we need to use the start. So start means after you jump or with your jump, you don't need to do anything. Some interactions you want it to happen by itself. After add start, and you need to add a response, right? So the response in this case is text, because we need to print my name into this text. So that is the text. And the layer name is whose home. So please set up your the object of this text response, and it should be whose home. And what the contents, it should be print here. We can't use a text, right? Because it's not a specific name. It's always changed, depends on what I tapped before. So that's why we need to choose a formula. The formula, as we learned at the last workshop, when you need a dynamic value, it always change. In that case, you need to think about, maybe I need to use a formula in that case. So formula is for dynamic value. And here, what we need to print into this text actually is the value I saved in this name. So what we need to do, just add this name variable. And then ProtoPie will print the value in this name variable to this whose home text. Now go back to your sign up page. And for the jump, when we tap this sign up, we will have a jump. This jump, we already made it last time. So now just try it. I tap my name, Leah, and tap a passport word more than 6, right? And then when you tap the enter key, the sign up button will turn to red. As you can see, when you jump to the second page, it will turn to Leah or the name you just typed before. Okay, this time because this is our last workshop and the features are most difficult, so that's why I slowed my speed. So I hope you guys can follow up. Do you have any questions about the first demo? Actually, we already finished our first demo. What we did, just use the detect to monitoring, did I change anything of this property? If every time, anytime, no matter it's 1 character or 2 characters, no matter it's deleting or editing, every time it's changed, this trigger will work. And then it will tell this assign, please assign the text I typed here to the name variable. And then when I jump to the second page, we use the start and the text response to print the value stored in this name variable to my whose name text. Okay, let me check your question in the chat window, Q&A window, sorry. Jeremy asks, is there a way you can customize the green block of text? Oh, you mean this one, the variable? No, it's not for users. So it's not only for designers. When you check your design, it's not a part of your prototype. So yeah, no, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Diego asked if I want to keep the home text in the homepage. Yeah, good question. Yes, we will make that together. Last question. Here. So what Diego asked is, when I jump to the second page, I don't want only show my name, but also I want to show Leah's home plus the whose home. So in that case means we should plus more text. So go to your second page and select this text response and select this formula here. So we need to add something after your name. So we need to add a plus. So plus means combine. And then the things, the whose home, this part is a text. So that's why I need to give a mark, double quote, and then typing what you want to add after your name. So for me, maybe whose name, or Leah's name, like this. If you use Excel or other tools, when you use a formula, they have a same rule. So use the quarter, double quote for your text. So then your program can know this part is a text. So after you do that, please try it again. Gina, and Gina's home. Thank you, Diego. Beatrice, for your question, I would like to answer you at the end of this workshop. So we have I'd like to move to the next demo first to finish our 6 demos in this workshop first. And by the way, today's workshop, I think it will take 2 hours. I already did this workshop yesterday. It took almost 2 hours. So if you can remain until the end, no worries. We will share the recording to you later. Yeah. Okay, now let's go to your IoT home and we will start make our second demo. So second demo is, here is a bar and we will prepare the whole assets for you. So what I want to do is when I drag my bar, first I want my bar height could be changed. And then at the same time, this number can be changed. In this case, we will also use variable. So first, let's make the first interaction is when I drag it. So the trigger is drag and the response is handle. Number of fingers is 1. When I drag it, I want its height could be changed. So that's why I should choose scale. And by the way, this layer I'm used here, this handle, I created with a rectangle layer. Let me show you. So why I don't create it by with oval? The reason is if the origin at the bottom, and now I want to drag them. As you can see, if I use a rectangle and give a radius to change it, to let it looks at a circle. And then when I change it, it can move as a bar. However, if you just use the oval, and when you change the size, is in this case is not what I want, right? So that's why I already create this handle layer for you using the rectangle layer. And now we already created the drag and the scale those interactions. And we need to set up the property of my scale. So jump to your property panel. And the direction here, of course, I want when I drag it, it should move up. So that's why I choose the move up, this one direction. And now open your preview window. As you can see, we already can drag this bar, right? However, of course, I don't want to drag it too long. So I want to give it limitation and what the limitation should be. So here we can give it a minimum width, height, and maximum width and height. For the width, I don't need to change it because the width won't change. And the minimum height of it is current height. So current height is 24. You can find this number on your the thumbnail at the top of your property. So it's a 24. And what the maximum? So the maximum is, as you can see, when I press my option key, I can know the distance between my handle layer with my bar. So here we have 8 space. And same, when I drop it to the top, I also want to give it 8 space. So that means I need to use the height of my bar to minus to this 8. So that means 16, right? So what I need to tap here is the bar's height is 360. So 360 minus 16. And then you will get a number 344. So that is a maximum height. 24 and 344. And after it did this, please try it by yourself. So now we finished the first micro interaction, is make a bar interaction, right? I think this part is very easy, all right? It's just this one is what we learned at the first workshop, in a beginner workshop. And now the next one is, what I want to make is, when I change the height of this layer, when this height change, it will affect my text, contents in this text. So when I say one property will affect another property continuously, then you should know, I need to use chain. So we learned the chain at the last workshop, right? And what the trigger of this interaction, the chain interaction. should be the height of my handle, because my height, this value will affect others. So that's why it's a trigger. So here I need to choose my handle's height as my chain property. And after this, we need to add a response. The response, I thought I need to use text because I want to change the text in this text layer, right? However, I cannot add text below a chain. In ProtoPie, we don't support it. Why we don't support it? Because the logic between chain and text, they are not matched with each other. Chain is a continuous trigger. However, the text is a one-time response. You don't need to understand what is continuous trigger or one-time trigger. Just need to know is for the chain, we don't support text. So what should I do? I know I need to use chain, but what the response I need to choose. So let's go through one by one. I don't want to move it, so not move. And also I don't want to radius. So nothing I can choose from here. However, I found a sign here. So maybe I can try a sign. So what a sign? Sign means what we learned just before is it can deliver a value to a variable. So maybe I guess, or maybe I can deliver a number to a variable first, and then print the variable, the value in this variable later into this text layer. So that is how my thinking map. And so now I need to create another variable. Same, if you don't know, will you use this variable later on the other screen? For me, I prefer you always create for whole scenes. But of course, that means your variable panel will be messy later. But today we will only make 2 or 3 more, so that's fine. So here, let's give a name. Let's say intensity, because this number means the intensity of my light, right? And same, turn on this valuable, how to say, this bug, and then turn off the name. We won't use it anymore. And then don't forget to assign a value to this intensity. And after you set up the object of this assign, now it's time again. We need to fill those empty blank mapping. We learned it at the last workshop. So mapping is here. When I height change from 24 to 344, so 344, this number is, we got this before. So when I change it from 24 to the 344, and this value here, I want it should change from, let's say, 0 to 10. But this value, I can't print it immediately. So that's why I need to save it into this variable first. So here is 0, here is 10. So before I drag, it should be 0. After I drag to the top, it should change to 10. And now let's try it on your preview window. You can see the value stored in your variable. This intensity variable is changing from 0 to 10. And after that, next one is we need to print it, this value to your text layer. But how to print it? Because we still cannot use the text as a response. So trigger, let's select a red trigger. Here, I can't know, but I can't use, but we just learned detect. Do you remember? To detect, what the detect means, it can monitor if there any changes happen. So what the property you want this detect to monitoring, you can choose the value of this variable, or you can also choose my height, the height of my handle layer. Both are fine because they are changing at the same time. We are using chain, right? Both are fine. No matter height or no matter the variable, any one of them is changed, that means another one also has to be changed. So, but this, for me, I'd like to use, let's say, use this variable. Let's use this variable. You can use height too. Okay, and then now I need to print it to this text. So now I can add a text, right? And same, choose the intensity, this text as your object. And then the formula should be this intensity variable. And now, as you can see, the number will change into this text layer. Jeremy asked a very good question. So what if you only want to input the whole members? So nothing after the dot. So in this case, I just want to leave as a 7, not a 6.5. What should I do? So in this case, I don't, when I print this variable to this text, I know I need to do something for here, but I don't know what should I do. So in this case, as I mentioned last time, click this question mark, then you will find answer because we have a documentation for you. And you can find, go to this function page, you can find a formula called round here. It's told me if you use this variable formula, then it can return the rounded value of a number. So for example, when you type a 1.5, this number, then it will return to 2. If you here is 1.2, then it will go back to 1. So that is the thing we need to use. Yes, Joanna, yeah, Jeremy, you guys ask the same thing. And here, so after I go back, I just use typing round. And the number in this round should be this intensity, the number stored in it. So that's why I typing this. After this, please try it on your preview window. Now I think it should work for you. The number in your variable is, you can still see the dot because we didn't use this variable on your chain here. We didn't use the here. So that's why you can see the dot for in the variable, but doesn't matter because the variable is this green dot layer is not a part of a prototype. It's just for you to check your design. Yeah, cool. So I answered this question. This is our no, we haven't finished. We already finished the design part, but this is only one bar, right? And I want to make 2 more. I also have a room too and the kitchen light. So how can I duplicate it? So in ProtoPie, if you want to duplicate it, just use your Command C, and then press Command Shift V if you are using Mac. So then in that case, your interactions and your assets and your interactions will be duplicated. As you can see here, you have a 3 more or 2 more interactions sets. You can also find this function from the your menu bar at the top of your desktop. Here we also have paste with interaction pieces. However, I don't like to use this way. The reason why is if I change my interactions, let's say I change it not from 0 to 10, but maybe 0 to 50. In that case, I have to change every pieces I duplicate it. So I want to save my time. Here we only have duplicate one time. But what if I have a 10 or 100 same interactions? I need to use it repeatedly later. So in that case, I prefer to convert it to a component. So please use your Command Z to cancel what you just duplicated. And then select the slide room one and click the component. So in this case, as you can see, at the moment when you click it, the whole interactions you added into this group are disappeared. And where are they? When you open your component panel, so it's an icon below your scene here. And you can find the local components. So double click it. Now you are in a component page. So on this page, you can edit your component. And here is the interactions we made it before. However, as you can see, it's showing me the yellow arrow message. So that means something wrong. What is wrong? It's because there's no indensity this variable. That is how say the feature we need to develop is when I turn layers to a component, if I include variables, those variables cannot be added into this component automatically. So that's why in this case, I have to create another variable again in the component. And the name, we'd better use the same name. So indensity. In this case, you don't need to edit those interaction pieces again, indensity. Because the name is same, so as you can see, the arrow message are disappeared, and those interactions we made before are work very well. Cool. And the Beatrice, sorry, is your name, right? Beatrice asks, how can I detect? So detect, I think you mean not delete, you mean cancel the component, right? So before it is a group, now I turned it to component. What if I want to detect it, to turn it back to group? Currently in ProtoPie, it's impossible. It's also another feature we need to develop. So once you turn it to a component, you cannot turn it back. However, I learned a tip from our team member is, you can copy and paste those interaction and pieces. Use the Command C and Command V, and copy and paste it to your scene again. So in that case, the interactions and the assets could be copy and paste on your screen. And after that, you can just delete the component. Yeah, is a tip, but of course we need to add this feature in the future. Okay, now as you can see, the interactions is still work, but just the difference thing is this time it's work as a component. And in ProtoPie, we have two types of component. One is a two type. One is main component, one is instant component. So what is main component? Main components is a component you added here, the local component. And the instant components means when I drag and drop my main component into my scene, those components, we call this instant component. So here I create 3 instant components. And for the instant component, you can customize some text or some layer properties. For example, there are 3 instance components. However, I want to change the label for the second one. I want to change it to room 2. And third one, change it to kitchen. So it's possible you can customize your design visual things of your instant component. And also you can, let's say I can change the this layer, handle layers, color, opacity, radius, the whole things you can set up here. But you cannot change the height or size. As you can see, you cannot, those numbers are not editable. So you can customize your instant custom component. And as you can see, the whole instant component, they also include the same interactions. So in this way, when you use component or instant component, it can help you quickly finish the same or repeat interactions. Okay, and every time when you change your main component, for example, I change the color here, because it is a main component, any changes here, it will affect my instant component immediately. So it's easier to add it when you change something for the whole instant component is easier, right? And also, you can change the each instant component's color here. For example, I change it to blue. And now if I change the main components, let's say change it again to the color we used before. And now when you go back to the screen, as you can see, the second instant here doesn't change because you detect only this layer's property with your main component. So that's why your main components, anything you added here are related to the color, this part, only the color property, it will affect your instant component. But what if you want to reset this component? So what you need to do is select it and go to the property panel and click this one, override. And the whole settings will go back to the same as your main component. Let me change it back to room 2. Yeah, so this is the some basic introduction for component in ProtoPie. Do you have any questions about this part? Use the component to make this bar change and number changing. If not, how did I reset them again? Go to select one of them and go to the property panel and click this one, override. And now let's jump to the third demo. Third demo is after I change the intensity of my light here like this. When I tap this, turn off, I want to turn them off at once. So in that case, that means I need to make interactions between my component and the assets out of my components. So what I need to do first is add a trigger tap, because I will tap it with my one finger. But after tap, I want to, let's say I want to reset this handle layer. However, in ProtoPie, you cannot select the response, select an asset in a component. You can only select the component. Let's say you want to move the whole component at once, move to another place, but you cannot move or change any property in this component. So what I should do? So I have to send a message to this main component. Please turn off. So the message, if we want to send into my component, we need to use send and receive. Send and receive, they send and receive messages between different like Pi files or component. So here we need to add a send. And first one is I need to set up my channel. Of course, the message I want to send is to inside Pi, right? So I have to choose from those two options. Send to component or send to current scene. For me, of course, I want to send to component. So let me choose it. After I choose it, it asks me to select a target. So when I choose this, I know, oh, I can only choose one of those components. So in this way, what I want to do is I want to change the all of them at once. But if I choose the send to component, I have to add 3 send. And the side one is for 2, one is for 3, right? Is not what I want. I want to make more, I want my work could more efficient. So what should I do? What I should do is select the send to current scene. If we select send to current scene, actually that means not only send to this scene, it also means send to a main component in ProtoPie. So this label, maybe it will confuse you, but actually it not only means current scene, but also include the main component. So after you choose it, now let's set about the message. So the message is just to match one send and one receive. They can match with each other. So the message you tap here, it doesn't matter. It could be 1, 2, 3, 4 or A, B, C, D. Just make sure this message, you will use it again later for one receive trigger. So here, how about, let's say, turn all off. Let's use this message. And when I send this message, of course, I need one to receive my message, right? So now let's go to my main component. I need to receive the message from my current scene because we select the send to a current scene. So that's why we need to select the receive from current scene here. And the message, we need to choose turn all off, or you can type it by yourself. After I receive this message, I want my height, the height of my handle could be turned back to 24, but the better way just use a reset. We learned this response at the first workshop, right? So once I receive this message, I want reset my handle layer. Because when I reset it, the height will go back to 24. And also because I have used the chain, that means my number here will also go back to 0. So now let's go back to your page and try it. Turn all off. Beatrice asks, is it possible to send those different variables to another page? Yes, it is possible. So now when you jump to other scene, you can find those 2 variables we made. You can use it on any pages. Okay, so this is our third demo. So with the third demo, what we learned is how to make interactions between the assets out of layer and the assets in, the assets out of your component and assets in your component, how to make interactions between them. And here we use a send and receive, right? So actually for send receive, I think in ProtoPie, there are big 3 reasons we need to use it. So first reason the first reason is we already use it is when you want to make interactions between components. And the second one is, let's me add a new page. You don't need to follow me, just understand why the send and receive, when you can use them. Let's say here I have a rectangle layer, and here I have an overall. When I tap this layer, rectangle, I want my overall can move, rotate, 3D rotate, or radius. I want to, a lot of things can happen at the same time, right? There are a lot of interactions like this. When you tap one thing, there are several interactions will happen at the same time. After I make this one, let's say I have another rectangle. This time I want to give it a flint, a different trigger. However, the response I want same. So what I need to do is just copy and paste it, right? So no matter I tap right one or flint the tap the left one or flint the right one, the same interaction will happen. In this case, what if you want to change the one of those response? For example, I want to it move, not move to 100. The initial value I tapped here is 100, but now I want to change it to 200. In that case, I have to change it one by one, right? If I want to change rotate, then I want to change rotate one by one. Here we only repeat it twice, but how about 10 times? How can I save my time? So in that case, I recommend you to use send and receive. So I can create a receive and move those responses to below it, and then delete other responses. And then add send below tap and fling. So no matter when I tap it or fling it, every time when I do it, it will send the same message. So 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then when I receive 1, 2, 3, 4, the same interactions will happen. So in this case, now if you want to change your response, you just need to change once. No matter you have a 100 or 200 response below it, you just need to change them one time instead of 2 or 100 times. So this is the way you can use the send and receive. It can help you to manage your interaction pieces to save your time. And this is a third way to use send and receive. The third, this is a second way. The third way is you can use send and receive to make interactions between different PI files. So PI files, that means one PI file means one screen, right? One device. So that means you can use send and receive to make multiple device interactions. So same, let's this time you can follow me. We can try it together, maybe. But this time, please just create a new PI file. I think that's better. You can create it new, or you can just add a new scene on your existing PI files. It doesn't. Both are fine. Here I have a PI file. This is my first PI file, and I have a button. And now I will create another one, comment N. This is my second, where's my second? Yeah, this is my second PI file. And here I will create an overall. What I want to do is, when I tap this rectangle on my first screen, view, let me toggle my, oh, yeah, I hidden my layer panel. I want to save my space here. Okay. So here is my first PI file. When I tap it, I want is can send a message to my another PI file. So let's say is color, because when I tap it, I want this layer's color could be changed. So this is a send, and you should remember the message you tapped here. And this time the channel, we need to choose ProtoPie Studio. this one, this window in ProtoPie, we call the ProtoPie Studio, right? So that's why this time you want to send to another ProtoPie Studio. So that's why you need to choose it. For the this one, the is for Arduino, is for the hardware part. So it's need a little coding, and we won't cover it at our workshop. So yeah, choose the ProtoPie Studio, and then go to your second Pi file. Your second Pi file will receive a message. The message is from another ProtoPie Studio, and the message is 1234. Same. When I receive this message, then I want the color change. So now we already finished two Pi file. Actually, it's a two device, right? Turn it off. View, toggle. Okay. Now I want to preview it. However, on ProtoPie, you can only preview one Pi file. You cannot preview two or multiple Pi file at the same time on your preview window. So what I can do is I connect with my ProtoPie player here, and then I send one of it to my player. So maybe this one, the send part, run it. So this is my phone, and you can see I already have this rectangle. And for the receive part, I just use a preview window. This is my finger. When I tap my, oh, oh, sorry, it's not 123, it's a color. I use a different message. Now, when I tap on my phone, as you can see, it will turn to red. So that is the way you can quickly make multiple screen interactions. Now we only tried two files. Actually, you can make 3 or 4 or 100. You can make 2, you can make 10 screens interactions to make them something happen at the same time. In that case, ProtoPie one Pi file, it doesn't know the message is from which Pi file, but it can distinguish by message. So just try to manage your message here, and then you can make several multiple screen interactions. This use your player with your preview window is the fast way to test your idea. However, what if I want to really test on my real device? What should I do? So in that case, in ProtoPie, we provide ProtoPie Connect, this plugin. So I think most of you guys haven't heard about this. Actually, this plugin we only provide to enterprise user currently, because with this ProtoPie Connect, you can not only make the multiple screen interactions, but also you can use the hardware and software interactions. But that part you need a little coding. So that's why we only provide to a limited users. Here, I already made the two files, right? So let's try it on my ProtoPie Connect. So let's learn how to use the ProtoPie Connect. First, I need to save my file. This one, I would call it send. And this one, second one, I'd like to call it receive. And after that, open my ProtoPie Connect. Then add this two new Pi file here. After that, when you click this view all, you can preview them on your browser at the same time. And as you can see, when I tap it, another one will change. The color will change. So another two file is we made it before. So here, let me change. I can put them to the other place. Here is my Pi file I prepared for you guys. One is my phone, one is my smart device. So it's my clothes washing, I think. When I tap a button here, as you can see, something will happen on my another screen. And when I change the value, this value will also change at the same time. So this is the feature has been provided by ProtoPie, and you can make this without any coding. This is multiple screen interactions. So if you are interested in how to use ProtoPie Connect, or how to use how to make interactions between hardware and software, you can connect us through our website. So our members will reply your email. And today we just know in ProtoPie we have this ProtoPie Connect, and can help us preview those multiple device interactions. Okay, now let's close those Pi files and go back to our demo here. So now we finished I introduced three ways maybe you need to use send and receive, right? Now let me check what we need to learn next is initial state. So the initial state, what I want to do is when I jump to this page, I want this room bar could be moved to my maybe center, maybe show me 4 or 6. It's not from the 0, because maybe when I open my app, my light already turned on my real, the real cases, right? So in this case, what I need to do is when I jump into this page, so that means a start. When I jump into this page, I want to give it an initial state. So I need to send a message to my room 1 only, because other room just I want to leave them as a 0. So how can I only control one instance component? Maybe you guys already see it, right? It's send to component. In this way, you can choose a specific component. So that is room 1. And what the message I would like to use, maybe turn on room 1. So this is my message. And this time I'd like to send a value. So actually you don't have to send a value, because you can just set something in your component, but I want to let you know how to use this feature. So I choose a more difficult one, actually more difficult way for this demo. So I can send a value. So the value here, I'd like to say, when I turn it off, turn it on, the height of my light, this bar, should be maybe half of my height. So 172, right? Half of my 344 should be 172. So I want to send this value. This value is the initial height of my light bar. And now go to your component. This time your component will receive another message from your parent. So what the parent and the children component, you can create component into a component. In this case, this is component. I can create it as a component. So in this case, the text 1 is my children, is a child component of the parent component slider room 1. So that is children, child and component, parent component mean. And in this case, here, because it's not current component, the message is not from the current component. It also is not from current scene, right? Because current scene we said is for control your main component. When you control main component, those 3 instant components will turn on. The bar of them will be bigger at the same time. So that's why I cannot choose current scene. And for the children component, there's no children component, the child component. So that's why I can't choose it. The only way I can use is receive from parent. So this part is also a label issue. Actually, it's not only mean the parent component. If you don't have parent component, it can also mean from your 信. So receive from parent or 信. So this is a label issue, but in this case, we need to choose receive from parent or 信. And the message is turn on room 1. And because we said here, we said when I send this message, I will send a value together. So when I go back to my, let me delete this. When I go back to my main component, I need to receive this value. So I need to assign this value to a variable to store this value and to use it later. And so the value, let me give it name is, let's say room 1 maybe, or intensity room 1. I think this better, intensity room 1. So I would like to save the value to my intensity room 1. And the value I saved now is 172, right? And after I receive it, I want to change my scale of my handle layer. I want to change the height of it. And what the height is should be. So here you can say is the same value you just received from the out of this component. So that's value we already store it into this intensity room 1. Now when you go back, try to preview it. So as you can see, every time when you refresh your screen, this room 1 will be turned on automatically. So what we learned here is how to control one specific instant component. So the way is you need to choose send to component and then choose that specific instant component. Do you have any questions about this demo? Beatrice asked, but how does it detect the variable of the second or third bar? You mean ask this one? Detect. Start, you mean this one? Then you can just add another send and choose the second or third one. Let me change the name. Here is room 1. Here is room 2. Here is a kitchen. So here you can select. If you want to if you want to give an initial state for the room 2, then you just need to add another send, and this time choose room 2 and give it another message. Same message also fine, because you will send this message to a different component, so it doesn't matter. You can use the same message. Cool. I think I answered you, and Jeremy asked why it is only affect the first select. So because you are adding, yes, I'm adding my master component. However, the send message only send it to my first instant component. So this message will send to only first one, and that's why only the first one changed. Lala asks, you want to ask question by yourself? Oh, I haven't tried it before. Do you mind I try this at the end of this workshop? As I know, you cannot share your screen, but maybe you can ask later. Yeah, thank you. Oh. Um, cool. Mm. Okay, now we already learned a lot. What the last one? Let me think. We said we will learn too many demos I prepared. What we live voice, right? We have a voice. So voice, we need to use a voice to control my kitchen light, for example. So in ProtoPie, we have three pieces related to voice. Before that, we have to know is ProtoPie is not always listen to you. The default is the listening, this function doesn't work. So first one, we have to do is ask ProtoPie, now please listen to me. So that's what that is a response. We call this speech recognition, but actually in the next version, we will change this label to listen. And how to make ProtoPie start listen? You have a lot of choice. You can use a trigger, let's say tap it to when you do an action, then you want start listen, or you can also use a start. So when I jump to this screen, then I want ProtoPie to start listen to me immediately. Then you can use start. So here I'd like to use a start, and the response is a speech recognition. Actually, it will change to listen soon next week. And here you can choose you want to start or stop. Of course, in this case, we want to start. And when I choose start, as you can see on your previous screen here, there a mic icon is start blinking. So if you see it's blinking, that means ProtoPie is listening to you. And here we have a continuous option. The continuous means if I check it, that means I can keep talking, or even I have a pause during my sentence. Let's say I said hello, and after 1 minute, I said I'm Leah. It doesn't matter. ProtoPie will keep listening to you continuously. In that case, if you check the continuous, that means maybe you need to use a stop, another listen to stop it later. If not, ProtoPie will keep listen to you. But of course, you want to ProtoPie give you a reaction after it listens something, right? But in this case, we will only say a very short sentence because it's older. So I will cancel this continuous. And then now ProtoPie will only heard your first sentence until you have your first pause. And then ProtoPie will stop listening to you automatically. And here, please let ProtoPie to know which language you are speaking. After it start listen, ProtoPie doesn't know what did you say. It's just start listen to you. If you want ProtoPie to judge what did you say a specific keyword? In that case, we need to use recognize speech. As I remember, we will also change the label name of it in the next version, in the next week, because next week we will release a new version. So please you don't need to remember this name because on our trigger, we only have one beta sensor. This sensor is for voice. And then you can like ProtoPie to detect a specific phrase. So let's say maybe kitchen. When I heard kitchen, this keyword, then I want turn on my kitchen light. If I heard room 2, then turn on my room 2 light. So here, let me use kitchen. And then after I detect this keyword, you want something response happened after my speaking or while my speaking. So it's depend on you. And in this case, I want this happen after I speaking. but you can also choose while speaking. It depends on you. So I would like to use after speaking. After I speaking, and only when I heard this, my sentence include this keyword, then I want to turn on this light. So remember what we should do. What should we do to control one specific instant component? We learned it before, right? So we need to use a send and send to a specific component. So this case, it should be slider kitchen. And the message this time, maybe let's say turn on kitchen. This is my message. And this time you can use the value, send value together because we learned it before. So you can use the same way, but actually is the easier way is you don't need to use it. Just go to your main component. And this time we will receive, let me give a different kitchen voice. When I receive the message from my parent, actually it's not parent, it's from my scene. The message is turn on kitchen. When I heard that, I want to change my scale of the handle layer. So the height, I don't need to use the variable. I can just type in the number. Let's say 200 is also fine. So why we use it before is I just want to let you know how to use the send and receive with variables. So after we made this one, now go back to your page. Turn on the kitchen light. Oh, let me refresh. Turn on the kitchen light. See, it will turn on, and also the listen will stop working. This response will stop working. So now you can control your interactions by voice, by your voice. And now I only just give it an interaction. How about I want a ProtoPie can give me a voice, a response. Let's say, yes, I already turned it on. So I can use a text to speech, this response. So what kind of contents you want the ProtoPie to read, just type it here. So maybe you say, okay, kitchen light has been turned on. The kitchen light. The kitchen light have been turned on. And now, turn on the kitchen light.
Okay, the kitchen light has been turned on.
Yeah, cool. So you can use other languages. And you can also use the male or female voice, speed, pitch, you can control, set them here. Okay. Do you have any questions about voice interaction? If not, Leah, what was the comment you changed the label? Comment, I changed the label. Which comment? You mean this one? Kitchen? The one inside start. The one inside start. Start, I didn't change any thing. Listen here. I just cancel the continuous. Just leave the whole thing as a default, start and the English. That's all. Cool. Okay. The name was something else and you yeah. The name is speech recognition, but I just rename it to listen. Okay. Let me answer that. Okay. And now do you remember we have another Pi file you download? Please open it. Now I want to make is use your voice to control two devices at the same time. So the last demo is just to use the whole things we learned before and to finish this whole entire prototype, because today is our last workshop. I want to use the whole things we learned before: variable, formula, multiple device, and voice. Let's try it. So open your another assets is a kitchen light, I think, right? It's a kitchen light. Here, do you remember we said if you want to control another Pi file, we need to use send and receive, right? So now I need to send, but send is a response, what the trigger should be. So maybe we can say use a recognize speech. A lot of trigger you can use. You can also use the detect to detect my height of my handle layer of it. A lot of things you can detect, but here I'd like to use just use the same trigger, recognize speech, and send a message. And send to whom? Send to another ProtoPie studio. So when I hear my sentence including kitchen, this keyword, then I will send a message. The message will be turn on kitchen light. Turn on my kitchen light. Is by voice. This message is too long, but doesn't matter. I will send this message. Oh, how about we made it more complicated? Not only when I voice control it, also when I change this bar height, the light, the intensity of my another Pi file will also change. How about make this one? So the trigger in this case is the height changing of my handle, right? But how can I know it? I said we can use detect, but as you know, we can't detect a layer in a component. We can only detect a component, but not the assets in the component. So what we need to do is we need to detect the change in the main component and send the message to my screen, to my scene, and then send to my another Pi file. So let's go to my main component here. So every time when I change it, I need to detect. Actually, we already have a detect. You can add it below it, or you can just add a new one. So this one is the detect the height. It doesn't matter. You can use the same detect, because this detect the intensity. And as I said before, we are using chain. One, if in this change, that means the height also has changed. So detect new one or same one, doesn't matter. And here is my handles height. Every time when it's changed, I will send a message to we can choose. Here, maybe you can find a ProtoPie studio. So maybe you want to ask, why can't I just send it to my ProtoPie studio? Why I should send it to my Pi file first and then send it to another Pi file? Send it to my scene first and then send it to my ProtoPie studio. The reason why is if you just select the ProtoPie studio, that means you are using your main component, right? So every time, no matter which one you are changing, all of them will affect will send a message to another Pi file. But in this case, we only want when I change the kitchen, then it affect my another Pi file. So that's why I have to, in this case, I can send the message to my ProtoPie Studio directly. I have to choose my parent. Do you remember why we should choose a parent? Because when I said it's a label issue, the send to parent not only means send to parent, but also means send to my scene. And only when you choose it, when you go back to your scene, you can choose a specific instant component. So here you need to choose a parent. If you don't know, if you will confusing after this workshop, I don't know which one should I choose, then the only way you can use is test them one by one. And I think we should and we will update this part soon. So when I change the height, it will send a value. The message should be turn on kitchen light. Turn on the kitchen light. And same this time, I have to send value because I should let my scene know what the current height it is, right? So here I can send my handle's height, or you can choose like this, or you can also choose my instance. Both are fine. As I said before, they are changing at the same time. So how about use the intensity this time? So every time when I change my bar, my height, the instance value will be changed from 0 to 10, and this value will be sent to my scene. After we finish this part, go back to your screen. And here we need to create a new receive. This receive will receive the message from my kitchen component.
Okay, the kitchen light has been turned on.
Oh, I'm not talking to you. And the message here is turn on kitchen light.
Okay, the kitchen light has been turned on.
Oh, let me turn off the auto reload. So the message is turn on kitchen light. And same, this time I will receive the message sent from my component. So this time is, let's say use this, is my intensity, but this time is my kitchen intensity. So that's why I give this variable name is intensity kitchen. And the property here is number. And default number, it doesn't matter because it will change every time when I receive a new message. So it doesn't matter, you can leave it as 0 or 1 or 10, doesn't matter. And then choose here. So I will receive the value from this slide kitchen component, and I will assign it to my intensity kitchen variable. After I receive it, I will send this value to my another Pi file. This one, do you remember this one we created? You can, if you haven't delayed it, just move it here. If you have delayed it, just create a new one and select the ProtoPie Studio, give it a message. The message doesn't matter. This message not should be the same one you used for the receive. And when you send this message, you will also send value together. And this value is the intensity kitchen. So now let's check it first. Turn on the intensity kitchen so you can see it. And as you can see, every time when I change the number here, the value, the height of this value will affect my variable in my component, and then this value will be sent to my intensity kitchen out of my component. So that's why I can see this number. And now let's go open your another Pi file here, kitchen light. And of course, we need to add a receive, right? We will receive a message from another ProtoPie Studio. The message I used here, what is it? Let me just copy and paste it. So you have to make sure you are using same message. And after that, now you already received the message, but we also need to receive the value from the 0 to 10. So that's why you need to check the assign to variable. Oh, let me turn on my layer panel. Here is it, value variable. And because I need to assign the value I received to a variable, so I create a new variable and name same intensity kitchen. Same, this name not have to be the name you used for here. Those two doesn't should be the same. You can use a different name. And after I create it, I will assign the value I received from another Pi file to it. So when I receive it, let's try it. Did I receive it very well? This is my screen. Let me send this to this part, send part to my phone. So this is my phone, and this is my kitchen, another Pi file. This will take too long. Let me open my player again and send it to. Oh, let's wait. It will take a time because this file is, I think, is a little big to me, to my phone. My phone is a little slow. But after you make this, you can try it by yourself. Send the phone part to your ProtoPie player and open your preview window. And then you will see every time when you change the light of your kitchen, this number in your intensity kitchen will change at the same time. Joanna asked, you want my repass the step. Okay, which part? From which part? Oh, now it's work. Let me show you. When I change it, oh, it doesn't work. Let me check the message. If every time when the send receive, it doesn't work, maybe it's because of the message I'm using the wrong one. Yes, yeah. The message here is turn on kitchen light. I think I'm using the wrong one. Here's a turn on kitchen light. Yeah, as I said, every time if you find the send receive doesn't work, please check your channel and message, those two things. So now, let me refresh it. Now it's work. Did you see it? And why this light are changing at the same time? Why it's changed? Because the interaction I already made for you guys is based on this intensity chicken, how it's changed, the color and opacity will change. And this part we already learned it before, right? We use the mapping. So this part I just made it for you. You can, it's not difficult. So after we receive it, you don't need to give it any response because the value already saved in my variable. And then based on my variable changing, then the color and the opacity will change. Okay, and John asked to repress the step. Let me do it at the after this workshop, and let me know which step you want me repeat. Okay. So now, as you can see, I can use you can use your voice to control this light, but something wrong on my phone, so I'd like to run my computer part, the kitchen light part on my phone. So this is my phone, and where's my, this is my preview window, this is my phone. Let me try. Open the kitchen light.
Okay, the kitchen light has been turned on.
So as you can see, I can use my voice to control two screens, and you can also change the light manually. Okay, cool. That is what we learned today. Let me check your question. Okay, for you guys' questions in Q&A window, I will answer you later. Let me quickly go back to my deck. So today we learned those 6 demos together, and also we take a quick view. Oh, my cursor.
Kitchen.
Oh. Yeah, we learned a lot. Then we learned ProtoPie Connect. So ProtoPie Connect, as I said, you can use it to make multiple display, advanced device interactions, or you can also use it with your hardware. And if you want to know more, please contact us. So yeah, congratulations. Is a very long journey. Today, finally, you achieve a new design skill. That is the new design skill you achieved is, from now on, you can express your design ideas through hi-fi prototypes. So take a moment to congratulate to yourself. So clap for yourself. Yeah. It's not an easy way, right? This is our last workshop. I already did 4 times, and for you guys, I think most is your third workshop. I think you most attend beginner, intermediate, and these 2 days. So 3 workshops. So now after this workshop, you can create ideas, no longer have to remain stuck inside your mind. And you can show your ideas to your team, to your other designers, and also you can to your users or to your developers. So, but also, of course, I welcome you can also show your idea to our team, ProtoPie team. So after this workshop, I hope you can use the pieces and the features we learned to create your own interactions, and then please share it on your SNS, social media. So when you share it, please also don't forget to tag our Twitter and Instagram and Facebook account. So we can reshare your ideas. So more designers can see you awesome prototypes. And also one thing I want to say is in the past two months, I prepared this workshop, and actually the whole things when I prepared is start from scratch. So it like this deck or the assets you guys use, the whole things our team, our designers design it and made it, and I also prepared those whole contents. It's our first time. Everything is new. So I hope you enjoyed it. But more important is I need your help to share your feedback to help us to make more a better educational contents. So next week, I will send you an email survey to your email. So please reply me and share your ideas to help me. So thank you. Before saying goodbye to everyone, I want to tell you some very exciting thing is next week, next maybe Wednesday or Thursday, we will release a new version. And this version will include Figma plugin. So it will allow you to import one or several scenes at once to ProtoPie. And also after imported, you can edit your text layer or other layers that change colors immediately because they will be added, imported as SVG format. And after release, we will have a launch event. So our product design leader, David, will show you not only how to use the Figma import this plugin, but also we will share how did we make this feature. So how did we do the user research? How did we define the problem and how did we solve them? So it's a history of this feature. So if you have time, please join this event. The thing is I'm very sorry, I'm not sure this time is right for you, but of course we will have a recording and we will upload it to YouTube channel. Okay, time to say goodbye. But don't worry, I always here when you need me. See you guys soon. And I will also keep answer your question you left in the Q&A window. Okay, let me go through one by one for the, let me check. Beatrice already leave. I saw he already leave. Then I will start from Jeremy. Jeremy, are you there? Jeremy also. Oh no, Beatrice is. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you are not. You are still here. Then I will answer you. I have a question. I guess it's more advanced. Could you use this feature detect to apply conditions? Like if text is X, then apply opacity or new color. The answer for your question is, let me use detect with condition. It's possible, but for the case you give me here, the text is something, then one thing happen. If it's another thing, then something happen. In that, actually that one is, you can use the condition to do it, right? But of course, in that case, you need a trigger. The trigger, yes, you can use the detect. So let's say when I detect my name, where's what the name here? Whose name? Let's say the whose name. Whose name? Whose name? This one. So you can choose it to text. That means every time the contents in this layer is changed, something will happen. But when it happens, it have to satisfied with this condition. So if is, let's say the contents here, whose home contents equal to Leah's home, and then something will happen. If not, another thing will happen. So yes, it's possible. Okay, cool. And Jeremy, sorry guys, I can't check your chat and the Q&A window at the same time. So if you have any question, please do leave it in the Q&A window. And Jeremy asked me to reply it. So could you let me know which part? Oh, how do you make the kitchen light from 0 to 1? Oh, when I slide up the slider, current change very fast. You mean it's changed fast? I think the speed is same because the speed, it depends on how fast you drag it. Because based on your finger speed, your height changing speed is the same, right? And this speed will be same as your number changed. So I think the speed is same. Uh, I can share the Pi file I made with you, but I think the thing if you follow me with us, the whole setting are same. I think we should have a same speed. Yeah. You mean when I slap up from 0, the change is very same? You mean the kitchen light? You mean this part, right? The another Pi file. I think you mean. Let me open this one here. This one is because of the chain setting. Where is it? Too many windows. Here. Here. Chain. The problem here is when I give the color 0, it's different from my initial color. So maybe you can change it, the initial color to the same one. E5, E5, E5. Oh, it's same. It's an E5, E5. And then every time when I receive it, the color will change between this period and opacity will from, oh, here it should be 0 to 10. It's not 0 to 0. So after you change this part, maybe you can try again. I think there's something wrong here. It should be 0 to 10. The question you ask is related to chain this part, and because those values is given by us by default, so of course you can change it by yourself. Answered, answered, answered. Cool, it works. And Lila, can we make color transparent in the component on the chain? When I drag, I want to have a different colors from each instance. For example, one blue, one green. When you ask this question, is this one, this prototype? Are you still there, Lila? Lila, are you still there? I think she has already quit. But I didn't answer your question. Can we make a color transfer in component? So that means it should be, you are mentioned this prototype. Make a color transparent in component on the chain when I drag. So you want here, right? Yes, when I drag it, you want this bar also have a color change, right? Yes, you can use it. As you see on the kitchen light file, we use the chain and with the color response. So you use this chain and color can the chain here, of course, you need to use the height, right? Based on your height, and then the color should change. And you are talking about the transparent is impossible. I think it's impossible. You have to give it color. So maybe a way, no, there's no way. Sorry for your question. I think we in ProtoPie you cannot do it. Yeah. Okay, guys. Yes, as I said, we will take 2 hours. So now we have a 4 minutes more. Let me know if you have any questions. If not, I would like to really say goodbye and see you guys. John asked, will there be more workshop? Uh, we will do more workshop, but we will send you a survey, right? I said, so if you can let me know what kind of thing you want to learn at the workshop, so maybe we can prepare for you. And for the same workshop, the contents you already learned in the past 2 months, we will do it repeatedly. So if you miss this time, maybe you can check next time. We will repeat those workshops. And for the new contents, if you need learn something new, please let me know through the survey. And then we will prepare the contents for you. Yeah. Thank you, guys. And see you guys in the next event is our lunch event. Don't forget to register it. Thank you.